Oh man, what did I do? Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. It is true, I've destroyed my kitchen. But you have to destroy before you can rebuild, right? So let me go over to my editing desk and go through the timeline on this kitchen remodel and show you, where we started, where we're going. And we'll get into all that, which will bring us to here. And this is where the kitchen currently is. So let's give you the whole story. We bought this house in late 2017, fully knowing that its biggest flaw for us was the size and the layout of the kitchen. We really liked everything else about the house and knew we could tackle these kitchen issues. The kitchen and dining room combined are only about 260 square feet. It's fine when it's just my wife and I, but nearly unusable when we have guests. The L-shaped area where the stove is severely limits the dining area to a point where you can't comfortably sit 4 people for dinner. During holidays or gatherings, we actually move the table into the living room to serve these meals. The pantry is really just some crappy shelves behind a couple of bifold doors that severely limits the pantry use. The refrigerator location is horrible because it severely limits the size and capacity of the refrigerator, and they're just getting harder and harder to find. To compound that, the original builder added a wet bar area in the living room and didn't even finish it. No sink, no water hookups, etc. Knowing that I was going to be gone for an extended period of time for work, we decided to hire some help to take care of the structural, plumbing, and electrical changes we wanted to make. I drew the current kitchen in SketchUp as a map for the changes that we wanted to make so the contractor had something to go by. The contractor we hired was great and asked a lot of great questions, forcing us to really think about the layout and design. We went through several different versions of the layout before making the final decisions, and a plan I think we both agree on. We decided to start with the pantry area, as this was something that could most likely be done before our guests arrived for the holidays. Even if it didn't get fully completed, the kitchen would at least be functional. So I decided to start on that bottom right side. All of the material used here is 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood, and I was able to rip this stuff down by myself thanks to that rockler cart, which comes out at the same height as the table saw. It really made life pretty easy for me to wrestle this stuff by myself in the shop. Once everything was ripped to width, it was just a matter of cutting down the parts to the correct size. And of course adding rabbets to each side of the top and bottom, as well as in the back of all of the pieces to accept the 1/4 inch back panels that will be on all the cabinets. With all the parts cut for those 4 lower boxes, it was just a matter of assembly. I used glue and a few brad nails to just hold everything in place, but I came back and added screws to everything. None of the screws are going to show, so I wanted the added extra insurance that these cabinets were going to be plenty strong for all the weight that was going to be in them. So this is just a very sped up version of me building one of many boxes, but they were all built exactly the same way, just different sizes for each compartment in the pantry section. And of course here, spending the extra couple of minutes to make sure everything is perfectly square really paid off for me later. And then I'll show you pictures of that in just a couple of minutes. And this pretty much catches us up to where we currently are on the pantry build. All right, so there they are. The boxes are finally all built, and as you can see, they're almost as tall as my shop ceiling. So that's why these top ones are just merely clamped in here for now, because I'm gonna have to pull them down to finish the insides of these boxes. Now I did go with the Baltic birch plywood over the pre-finished plywood just because it is a little better grade of plywood, but that means I have to finish the insides, and that's okay. I'm going to shoot General Finishes High Performance water-based finish, and I'll probably put 2 or 3 coats on here with a light blocking in between coats, and I'm going to spray it all. But it shouldn't take me too long, and I am going to pull these boxes down and set them up so that I can shoot them. I also have the cabinet above the refrigerator built, just the box, and I think you can just see a corner of it there. But I'm going to flip the camera around and kind of talk through what's going on there, because there's some trim details going on there. But yeah, let me get the shop set up. I'll show you that cabinet, and we're going to get these things shot and get them ready to go in the house. Okay, so I couldn't build this box until I had the walls in the house put in place to give me my exact measurements. Those are in place, and I will show you what the inside looks like here in just a few minutes. But I had to figure out where these walls land, how this box sits in, and how this crown molding was going to go on and tie into those walls. So I took some of the scrap that we pulled off in the kitchen and just mocked it on here. The new stuff won't be white on this cabinet, just so that I could see how everything ties in. In fact, the crown may even be a little different size, but I just had to figure out this transition. I actually reached out to some folks in the forums who were very helpful, and based on that and discussions with my wife, we have figured out what we're going to do here. So I can go ahead and pull all this apart now and get this cabinet prepped for finish as well, and then we'll get this one trimmed out and hopefully mounted here in the next couple of days. All right, so there you can see the new walls installed. It just takes time to get all the drywall work and the bullnose work and all that stuff done, so we can get going with installing these new cabinets. Okay, so there you go. That catches us up to this exact day. I think it's November 21st, 22nd, somewhere in there. And when I get back after this, we're going to start on trim and this internal stuff and all that good stuff. I know this one's probably a little bit short, but this project started all the way back in July, and I was gone for work for a lot of that and wanted to bring everything up to current date. And I will take you guys along for the ride as we finish out this kitchen remodel. And this is but just the pantry section. There's so much more stuff going on behind the scenes, but we'll get into all of that. So until next time, guys, take care.